Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are running well, it's not really a double-headed train, but we have two locomotives mixed in with a bunch of empties. We are on one of our last two runs out to our final project for this line. So we're almost done. Have finished out the sawmill, all of the industries with the exception of the coal mine. We still have not brought out. We have the 10 hopper cars out there with a class 70, which looks like it's going to be the last locomotive to come in to the yard. But we're almost getting done. Project's taking much longer than I figured it was going to, just due to, I don't know, mishaps, mistakes, poor planning, and things just haven't gone as smooth as I was hoping. I really didn't think it was going to be this big a project, just kind of looking for a place to park all the trains, but I guess I also didn't have a real super good idea of how many locomotives we have. So in the process, we did the last train I parked out there was the 16 cars, and I pulled them out there with the class 70 that was out at the lumber yard. Although in the process of doing that, I figured out that we had two class 70s with the same locomotive number, different names. What is that? Okay, that sounded weird. But different numbers, or same number, different names. So I deleted the Woodchuck Class 70, got deleted. That was one of the 606s, and then we had Big Betty. Big Betty was already in the shed put away, so we did decide to just get rid of the Woodchuck locomotive, and I ended up deleting 3 or 4 of the cars because they were just, to be quite honest, they were derailing and derailing, to be real, and I just got tired of it, so I deleted. I don't know. I know we lost a couple cars out of that one. Somewhere 3 or 5. I don't know. But I did end up deleting a few cars, and a locomotive. The locomotive was my fault because of the number, the rolling stock. I just honestly got so tired of picking it up and trying to put it away that I just deleted it. It really wasn't that big a deal in the big picture. If it was 4 or 5 of those cars, you know, that's a couple thousand. It just wasn't worth the headache. So, just as an update, we did lose a few rolling stock and a locomotive. I bet this switch over here needs to be flipped. Sure does, because we emptied out the oil field already, so that's that. I know the plan is going to be to get these last couple locomotives brought out to the storage area, and then I'm going to switch over to the beta and delete all of this track and go from there. Which is going to be an interesting process in itself, just deleting all the track, I'm sure. But I think that's going to be the plan, is just delete it all and start with the new spline tracks from the beta. And hopefully when we get that all done, we will have working rolling stock and locomotives to choose from in the beta branch. And the reason we've waited this long, I mean, we did switch over to the beta for a minute to take a look at everything, but we didn't change over the track. So Well, we got the new locomotives and stuff, or the new rolling stock, well, and the new locomotives to take a look at it. We never swapped out our rail, so it all still worked. Is it just me, or that train certainly sounds different than it used to? I thought the last couple of times I was driving a Cook Mogul that it sounded different, but I was telling myself it was just me. But that's definitely sounds different than it used to. Yeah, that just sounds kind of weird now. Huh. But then it doesn't have that, I don't know, it used to have, I don't know, I guess I don't want to be, I don't want to assume too much, but that certainly sounds different. Who knows? I know the main line is still waiting on the spline updates, though. I think that there's still supposed to be another beta update before where all of the new locomotives and stuff get tested on the new track before it all hits the main line. So being that that seems like it's still quite a ways out, that's why we're going to be switching over to the beta here very soon. 3 more locomotives to park, and we're going to call this one, that's for sure, and go from there. I'll be honest, at this point, even if I do totally lay the beta and lay all the beta track and the locomotives aren't there, we will probably just start a scratch new playthrough just to do something different. Now with 300 hours into this one, I think that's good for what was just going to be our rough test track in the first place. We definitely have an idea of what we're doing now, or, you know, when you first start, you don't. This game, unfortunately, does not come, you know, there's the help button that has, you know, it'll tell you what you gotta do with stuff, but this game does not have a solid tutorial or anything like that, so it takes you a minute to get a hold of what you can and can't do and figure out all the controls, and that's really what this was, just to get a rough idea of how to get to all of our different industries, and we've definitely done that now. Okay, yeah, see, crazy this time how it just, everything rolled back just fine this time. It's like 50-50 with all these locomotives, to be honest, whether they roll in here fine. Some do, some don't. Some are absolute nightmares and derail a million times coming around the same corner. The rest of them don't have a problem. So there you go. I don't know what that's all about. Seems like sometimes you have more of a trouble with rolling stock depending on which locomotive is actually pulling them. And I know that that might sound weird, but like, you know, I used to run the double Heisler all the time, and it was really, really picky with the cars that are behind it, where and when it would derail. And it seems like I could just cut down to one of the Heislers and not have the problem, run it over the same track. Just really kind of awkward situation, and I still find that to be true. That running the Heisler of the Class 70s, I have more of a problem with the rolling stock, but that could just be me. Ooh, a lot of weeds in there. Alright. How are we gonna do this? I don't really just want to put them both. As much as I just want it to be done, I guess I don't really just want to put them both on the same rail either, so probably not gonna do that. Alright, so I guess we will. It doesn't even link. They make it look like it links, but it doesn't link. Huh. Well, I'm sure that'll be addressed at some point. Let's be honest, the main line is now really more of a just a kind of a beta test line, I guess. I mean, I guess you could just be playing in this and never adjust to much, but with all the changes or updates coming, it's sure. What's the problem? I don't have any of these brakes on, do I? Can't imagine. Maybe I just don't have a boiler pressure built up. I would not be lying if I said I am looking forward to having this done. Sure, brakes on. That's 73% brake. It's not going anywhere with the locomotive like that. This project, while I like the way that it looks going down here through these, this was a pain in the backside. Well, you could put some on there. That's for sure. You definitely have more room in front of those. I'm not sure. I guess we just need one more for. Yeah, we only have one more locomotive, so we already have enough runoffs in here. We'll get it straight yet. I'll be the first one to be honest and say, like, I did not really think this through. This was a backup plan. I was trying to do something else down in this valley. I was going to have it all run down one side track wise and then just dump over, and it just didn't. I tried and it just, things weren't working out the way that I wanted them to, so then I kind of switched to this plan at the drop, you know, when that one didn't work. And so this was definitely not well thought out or planned. It just kind of fell into, this was the way that I did it. Doing it over again, I wouldn't do it this way. This is probably the biggest pain in the butt way to store your locomotives that I could suggest to a person. It kind of looks cool as you go by it all, but it is a time-consuming pain in the butt to build it and to park it. If it was all laid out better, probably not the case, but at the spur of a moment, this is not the easiest or fastest setup to go with. Let me be the first to admit and say that. Especially just freehand winging these in here. Would have been much easier if I'd have set curves, balanced it all out, and all of that stuff. Freehanding this much track in space like this has kind of been a hassle, to say the least. Because none of it works great. It's just all too janky. Like this. They're gonna slap around in here. But that's okay. It's in the barn. and another one bites the dust. That's, at this point, what we're concerned with. What is that? Yeah, see, that's the 66. And then the 606, why we deleted the other one, is right there. So we did have 4 Class 70s, which amazes me. I can't believe we got up to 4 Class 70s. Hopefully we get the tech tree locomotives at some point and we can stop having so many of the same locomotive. That's not real super exciting. Alright, so where are we gonna put? I think we'll just put them right there, which means I can open that dump gate and dump them there. I'll just dump the cars on there. Good enough. There's only 3 of them. Of course, I could just put them back with those other flats. Those are the ones we deleted. But then we need these. These are our steel cars. But then the more and more, the more and more I like to say that I'm parking these to pull them out, I really have to admit I'm more inclined to think that none of these are going to actually run again, because I don't think they're going to convert any of these old rolling stock and/or locomotives to run on the new track. These interact, like the wheels interact with the rail, and the new locomotives do not. They run on a center line principle, from what I understand. So they run more down the center of the center of the rails interacts with the locomotive and the rolling stock. That's how they got smoother interaction, is my understanding. So they don't have point to point with the rail. That's just from my understanding, which could be wrong, but I think that was the explanation behind it, which is going to let us have oops, stop it. Jeez, push another one off the rail. That's what you need to do today. I just had a heck of a time hooking up these 2 trains with each other out there. I pushed more things off the track than I'd like to admit. Alright, there we go. That's that. This one's got to get flipped. 1, 2. Looks like we still have 1, 2, 3 turnoffs. Okay, so this one should be able. That was not the plan. Oops. We should stop pushing buttons for today. Switch left with no. Yes. No. No. We want to switch right with the thumb. Right. Right. What are we doing here? Let's back up. This, see, again, this was not brilliant. There we go. Okay, and we'll turn that way, because nothing can go off of the back of that yet. Then we can put in one here. So we'll have one for the locomotive and one for the cars, which we will put off of here, and then this chute can go all the way over to that other side or something. Will be the plan. Alright, this is what we really came down here for. Flip that, get you in the barn, and be done with you for today. One more locomotive to bring down, though. I might bring that out of the mountains yet today, so we can just get that dealt with and then be on to bigger and better things. Alright, reverse. Yeah, now it sounds hyperactive like the climax. There's no way that this one used to sound like that, because this used to be like my favorite locomotive, and if it sounded like that, it wouldn't have been my favorite loco. So the mogul definitely changed the way that it sounds. Boom. In the barn. There we go. That's that. 2 more down, 1 to go. I think we're going to call that one an episode for today. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have yourselves a great day. Thanks.